Hey guys, and welcome to the Graham Strategy channel. I start off like I always do by reminding you that I'm not a financial advisor and I do not make any recommendations on what you should or should not buy or sell. We've had quite a disappointing week for many stock investors with a drop of more than 6% over the past 8 days. A few quarterly reports for Q3 have been published and the earnings have in general not been quite as good as expected. However, we could be on the verge of a great investment opportunity. Perhaps not the best in a lifetime, but potentially the best in a decade. Time will tell. Looking at the OMX30 index and its development since the bottom of the great financial crisis, we can see that it has gained 237% over the past almost 15 years since 2008, which corresponds to a year-over-year increase of 8.48%, which is not a bad return. But if we deduct inflation and look at the real return, we can see that the actual return is 143%, or 6.13% year-over-year, which of course is still a fairly nice return. However, since the peak in December 2021, the index has fallen 14.1%, which may seem as a fairly small correction, but adjusting for inflation, we can see that the index has actually dropped 26.3% since the all-time high 2 years ago. And we see that it has actually dropped below the 2015 level, which means we have had no real return for the past 8 years. So if you feel that you missed out on gains on the stock market over the past 8 years, don't worry, you still have a chance to get in at the same real level as 8 years ago. Does that mean we've just hit the bottom and the market will now recover and climb to new highs? Unfortunately, that is very hard to predict, but it seems like we will see some new lows before the start of a new market boom. And nevertheless, if one makes regular investments in good companies the coming 2 years, there is a pretty good chance one will see a good return after another 5 to 10 years. So, how is it going for the Graham portfolio? Well, since the last rebalancing on September 8th, we can see that after a nice gain of almost 7.5%, it has dropped and lost 3.79%. The OMX index during the same period has lost 4.53%. So still slightly better than the index. And looking at the period since the start of the year, we can see that the portfolio has performed in par with the index. However, since the portfolio also includes dividends, we could compare with the OMX30 GI, which includes dividends. And then we see that the index has returned 4.57%, while the Graham portfolio has returned only 1.81%. But if we look at the full investment period since the start, the return is 40.9% for the Graham portfolio, while the OMX with dividends has only returned 10.4%. The figures I show here are correct for the period, but the graphs in the plot are a little distorted, probably not shown the last couple of days when the market fell quite a lot. So that was all for today. Stay tuned for updates on the portfolio, subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive a reminder when I release a new video. So until next time, as always, stay sharp and follow your passion.